Lord Frieza!
He's dead!
This is how we gonna do this.
Akainu-san!
Roses are red, weapons against me won't prosper. With this sacred treasure I summon, Big Raga, the Opstopper.
It's Big Raga, the Opstopper! He's here to save us!
Is he gone? Whew! Oh my goodness. Okay. Damn, that was scary. Wow! Sakazuki, one of the most threatening entities in the history of One Piece, has gone major gas over the last few weeks, well, a month, because of Eiichiro Oda's comments. He revealed something about Akainu that right now puts him in the numero uno spot. Well, technically not Akainu, but the Fleet Admiral position. And I quote, from Order of the Library of Ohara, Q&A question 6. Please tell us how cross-guild bounties work. The answer, crowns equal 10 stars, and stars equal 100 million berry. So rear admirals, the rank under vice admirals, are 200 million berry bounties. Vice admirals, and a few of the cats in that same group like Kobe and members of Sword, are 500 million berry bounties at 5 stars. So very similar to Doflamingo's 5 stars for God Usopp in Dressrosa. Admirals have a 3 billion berry bounty at 3 crowns. But the Fleet Admiral position, which is held by Sakazuki, is at 5 crowns. That is a 5 billion berry bounty, a cross-guild bounty for Akainu. And then in the follow-up post, Oda shows you who the highest cross-guild bounties are right now in the story. We have Sakazuki at number 1 at 5 billion berries. Then you have Garp, Kizaru, Fujitora, and Ryokugyu, Green Bull, all at 3 billion berries. Then you have this random guy named Spaden, or Spotsdale, however you say his name. He has a 1 billion berry bounty, and then you go down from there. This is a crazy play. This is a crazy play, because I did a video in the past talking about where I thought that Akainu would have a bounty closer relative to the other admirals, where he'd be around either at a 3.5 or 4 billion berry bounty. That's what I saw Akainu's bounty being capped at for the cross guild. Because again, the other admirals were at 3 billion, but instead Oda decided to add another 2 billion on top of that, and now he's at 5. So Akainu right now has the highest bounty in the One Piece world, as far as we know, and he's up there now in terms of bounty with guys like Whitebeard and Goldie Roger. So in terms of the power scale, obviously, people have been going nuts for Akainu as of late, because Akainu is in that echelon now as the current Fleet Admiral. I don't know if that applies to Sengoku too. I'm not too sure. I would assume that it doesn't, because he was a former Fleet Admiral, but again, I'm just not too sure. Oda will tell us in the future what the deal is with that, obviously. Or let's say in the future, we'll get that, let's say in a data book, SBS, something of that sort. A Portrayal buff is still a Portrayal buff nonetheless. And in terms of power scale, that is one half of the equation I normally use, where you have, of course, the Feats, which is one half, and then Portrayal is the other half. Particularly sort of like One Piece, Portrayal is really important. What does that mean now for Akainu's position in, let's say, my strongest characters, 2023, 2024, and moving forward? Well, I'll just say moving forward, because obviously later this year / next year, we're gonna be doing our top 30, maybe top 50, but probably our top 30 strongest characters of 2024. And Akainu, I've always had in that top echelon. If you go back to my streams for, let's say, the past, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years now, I've had Akainu pretty much in my top 7 strongest characters of the year, even though Akainu has been a desk jockey for a very long time. The way I see it is that portrayal-wise, he gets way too much glaze from Eiichiro Oda to ignore his position as one of the strongest characters in the story. Oda glazes the hell out of Akainu. Krispy Kreme donut levels of glaze, which is very fitting considering Ace's condition after Marineford. In terms of the feats, his only real feat I can say is truly immaculate and impressive for his character is not Marineford, I'd argue, but it's him beating Kuzan. He beat Aokiji in a one-on-one fight that lasted for 10 days. And we saw what happened to Punk Hazard as a result of that fight. That, I think, outshines what he did at Marineford, because at Marineford, he does tussle with Whitebeard time and time again, of course, and at times he does win, at times he does win, at times. But Whitebeard gets stabbed through the chest and body by Squard before he makes any real moves. So, like, right through the sternum, like the upper abdominal, right through his body. So, going into any combat, Whitebeard is definitely nerfed, even outside of his old age and sickness. And then in the middle of the battlefield, has a heart attack, which allows Akainu to get one of the cheapest shots in One Piece history, undeniably. However, the fact that he beat Kuzan is a big testament to his claim to fame. Why is that? Because Kuzan is someone that Garp couldn't put down throughout their entire battle on Egghead Island. Oh, for all of the Conquer Hockey Infusion attacks that Kuzan took, both on and off screen, Kuzan did not go down. And Garp wasn't alone. He had an entire platoon there with him. And in fact, Kuzan tells other people during that fight to step back because they can't handle Garp while he goes in there and takes on Garp. However, obviously Garp was a phenom. He was a stud. He was amazing, undeniably. But keep in mind that Kuzan did not go down and could even match the Conquered Hockey Infusion attacks of Garp in cross punches without he himself having Conqueror's Hockey Infusion. And Akainu at a baseline is stronger than Kuzan. So the main thing going on for the Feats department for Akainu is really through Kuzan, because no matter what, Akainu has to be stronger than Kuzan unless Oda reveals, let's say Kuzan could have taken out Akainu during their fight, but chose not to for whatever reason, got sentimental. Kuzan tried to give him the old handshake, and then Akainu may go! Maybe, who knows? But when if Oda reveals that in the story, because that could be more SBS material, I dread to think about that being revealed in the SBS. Honestly, God, do. With that being said, so that right there in terms of the feats, I think is Akainu's biggest claim to fame. Vaporizing the iceberg that Jozu threw, great. The entire Ryusei Kazan meteor fish shower that encompasses most of the bay, outstanding. 10 days of combat, which resulted in a volcanic mountain range, and with Kuzan, the entire island split in half, with permanent water on fire on Akainu's side, phenomenal. But it is Kuzan's defeat, beating someone else of great know and standing, that supersedes any of that. And I've been saying for a long time, Garp would have killed Akainu. No. I've been saying for years in my top 30 streams that I think that Akainu is stronger than Luffy. I think he's stronger than Mihawk. He's the only Marine I'll put like at the peak echelon of power, where I've said before that I think that's very possible that Akainu now is on the same level as Garp in his prime. Is he? Don't know. But I think it's possible, for sure. In terms of Akainu getting glaze, I'm cool with that for sure. I mean, Aka for a reason, but getting that much glaze surprised me. But again, he is Fleet Admiral. And I've said before in the past that the way I view the Admirals is that because that rank is a rank that is granted to you by power, you have to be strong to be an Admiral. To me, it's an indication that that number of bounty could signify one's power in some sense. It's not a feat thing, it's a portrayal thing, which is in my book, the Y of the equation, X plus Y equals Z. We have our X feats, we have our Y portrayal. And because you have to be strong to be an Admiral, that is also a component of the portrayal aspect of, let's say, gauging power, I'd argue. So if an Admiral is like that, what about the Fleet Admiral? Well, I don't know. Because when I think about it, I never thought that Sengoku was the strongest Marine at Marineford, even though he was Fleet Admiral. And in fact, at that point in time, and I'll even say for most of the One Piece's history, I'm pretty sure that the vast majority of folks, I'm gonna bet here, that the vast majority of folks did not believe that Sengoku was the strongest Marine at Marineford. And obviously, as Fleet Admiral, his role is way bigger than just the power. The power matters, and again, in terms of the feats, he's proven that. Because again, he's already beaten Kuzan, but he's also the leader of the military forces around the entire world. So if he gets taken out, that's a tremendous blow to the Marine system because he is the pinnacle, the apex of the Marines. And so this is why now, moving forward, what I'll do here is that it's obviously a portrayal buff for Akainu, but it's not enough to, let's say, put, I think, in that top 3 or top 4 category ongoing right now. I mean, in terms of bounty, even though Kaido and Big Mom have a lower bounty than Whitebeard, who has a higher bounty than current Akainu, I put Big Mom and Kaido over Whitebeard. I've done so for, I don't know how many years now, like
A long time ago.
I've had Big Mom and Kaido stronger than a man with 5 billion berry bounties. And in fact, the Ace Light novel kind of proves my point here, and that is canon, where years before the pre-time skip, it was Kaido who was deemed to be the strongest in a one-on-one fight. In terms of sheer battle power, it was Kaido who was stronger than Whitebeard, the world's strongest creature over the world's strongest man. Now, of course, now let's say a prime Whitebeard in his Heian era days, but I'll still argue, let's say for 6, probably like 10 years, Kaido and Big Mom have been stronger than Whitebeard because Whitebeard's health has always been degrading. And over the course of time, like many of the older characters, Don Chinjao, Rayleigh, Garp, Whitebeard himself, a lot of times these characters, they tell you, I'm too old, and that age is affecting me. They're not controlling lifespan like Big Mom can. She's a whole different breed of woman, baby. She's all woman from the day she was born to the day she died. She's all woman, respect it. And that's why she's coming back, absolutely, baby. But, for those of the cats that know, I've been saying for years now that Whitebeard was the weakest emperor at Marineford. This comes as no surprise, and guess what? I am consistent as hell. We maintain frame. Akainu right now would probably go a hair higher than Blackbeard now in terms of my overall power scale. You have to respect the portrayal buff of that 5 billion berry bounty. Even though the Admiral role, I can't say is gauged over purely power, the same way an Admiral role is, because he does have those feats against Kuzan, and now that bounty's in that 5 billion berry mark, I have to respect that, and I do. It only validates things I've said in the past about Akainu, for sure, but other things have to be adjusted too. And you may say, hold on now, King, but you have Kaido and Big Mom over Whitebeard Marineford, correct? Because that same Whitebeard had a 5 billion berry bounty. But wait a minute, but Prime Whitebeard you have over Kaido. I do. Oh, well then Akainu, whoa. Half the equation, we're the Feats. Order. How can I put him at that prime Whitebeard level when a nerfed, old, sick, stab, heart-attacked Whitebeard baby shaked him? After Whitebeard's assault, this man didn't return until after Whitebeard died. That's crazy. That's insane. So he has to prove that, though. He has to prove that. Just how I'm going to prove to you guys and gals that on my new gaming channel, Code GG, we're going to be consistent with the content at hand. Check that out, baby. Over here, boom. We got our first video up, and there are more to come. My guys getting situated, and then we're going to be ready to go for content for a while on that channel. That's the plan. But if your plan is not to raise Akainu over every dude in the One Piece story right now, even though his feats, what he's actually done, they don't match. Oof. And in terms of portrayal, there are guys that are even outpacing him by orders of magnitude. For example, a certain red person as well, getting comparable glaze to Joy Boy itself. Damn. Nothing beats that right now in terms of portrayal and feats. Oh my God. But again, I respect the red dog. I have for years, and I'm not gonna let that go now. That this does validate things that I've said for in the past for a long time. If you tell me Akainu was gonna get killed by Garp and Marineford, I'm saying CAP bold, heavy bold, italicized too. But that's my stance on the matter at hand. We'll see how things go in the near future when we get to our top 30 streams and so on. And on that note, I'm gonna catch you guys on the flip side. If you enjoy your boys' video content, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and click on that bell to join the notification squad. I'm gonna catch you guys and gals on the flip side.
See you. Bye-bye.